Behold, shorts. I look like one of those emperors. Listen to me, because I have things to say. Hello and welcome to another Solana tutorial. Today we're gonna talk about my favorite topic again, wallet security. Oh wait, I need a microphone as well, that will help. Ha. I really like how this looks. I could run around like this all day. Important topic. That's what this shows. Red. Red for important. Bit ridiculous as well, but what we're doing here is slightly ridiculous and also helpful. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about 3 strategies how you can keep your assets safe even in case your seed phrase gets leaked. And I know you guys, some of you really just like to leak their seeds. So I got some tips for you. And this is not a me telling you what you should do. This is a me giving you options. You don't need to do all of those things, but you can, mix and match and do the things that you think are cool and that suit you. Because again, we will always have a trade-off between how much you will need to do and how difficult it is to actually get to your key pair versus how secure you can keep it. So yeah, I have this interesting outfit here today just so I can bring you some information and some ideas about how to add additional layers of security to your seed phrase. That's what we're going to discuss today. And keeping the seed phrase secure by itself is a big topic, and I have many ideas for that, some of which I have discussed on this channel already. But today we specifically talk about additional things that you can do just in case your seed phrase does get leaked. Or such that you feel more confident giving your seed phrase to your mom or your best friend or your partner, because there is additional layers such that just with a seed phrase they still can't steal your assets. And maybe it just helps you sleep at night knowing that you have your seed phrase written down somewhere, that even if somebody found that, they would still not be able to get your assets. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Nice and red. Yes, let's go. And also, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to put one sol on an address that's controlled by a seed phrase that I'm gonna leak to you. So if you want to try and hack it, you can. That's how confident I feel that you won't manage, and I might make it easier for you if you watch the video. I might make it almost possible for you to hack it. We will see if you actually manage. Let's go. This is just great colors, I love it. Let's say I have created myself a key pair with a seed phrase. That's just something I did. Andy's wallet. And that's the seed phrase, which accidentally I just leaked. Pretty much intentionally I just leaked. Now here you go. I have this key, but even if I lost it, it's gone now. Because I have this seed phrase, I can recover it. If I now go to Solver and paste in my seed phrase, I can check my accounts. None of them are funded because I'm cheap. But here at this derivation path, we have my Andy address, and I could access my wallet just by having my seed phrase. And from here, I could even export my private key. There you go. That would be my private key, 161 to 164. Well, this is actually part of the public key, but whatever. Starts with 161. So that's how you would do it. How a regular user would do it. They would import it into a wallet to be able to access it. That's the whole purpose of a seed phrase, right? In case you lose access to your wallet, you import it to your Solver, Phantom, or backpack or whatever, and boom, you have access again. Now, you can also do that with a CLI. Let me show you. It's just more difficult because I used the derivation path. And that thing doesn't want me to use a derivation path. Maybe here, because I would need something like that. Is the CLI really that stupid? Because I can grind with a certain path. Hold on. We're gonna do more of a deep dive than I thought. Remember that time where we changed the Solana CLI so we can deploy with seeds? Good old times. What I'm looking for today... Wait, it's not in the CLI, it's in keygen. Keygen is a separate... Okay, let's check the keygen. All in one file. If I have an out file, then we use out file, otherwise this one. That's why I need to specify an out file. And then we do a key pair from seed phrase with derivation path none. Oh, and legacy true. Well, this is just annoying because grind also allows me to acquire a derivation path. I wish I could just do that as well here. Can't just put the derivation path here. And I'll just get myself the derivation path and then I'll put it in here. And then I just need to teach you that you take this argument. It's derivation, not derivation. Keep getting that wrong. Grind arc derivation path requires use mnemonic. Copy this part, find my recover, and give you an argument, but you don't need anything else. Boom, there, derivation path argument. And that should fix it. Now I just need to compile this somehow. Cargo build. Easy as that. Come on, let's go. I know. See, I'm doing this a bit complicated to prove some things to you. The actual tricks are super simple. And all of them should also work for hardware wallets. I'm just demonstrating it with file system wallets, with those like local key pairs here, because it's easier for me to work with them. And so I don't need to show you my hardware wallet and everything. But it's the same with hardware wallet as well. There we go. We have built our target. Is it in here? No. Where is it? Target, debug, Solana keygen. There we go. We have a Solana keygen, recover, and this guy has a derivation path. Wonderful. Wonderful. Because that is the default, which is misleading because it's not really the default. Anyway, if I now provide you that derivation path, it's not derivation. Why do I always say derivation? Of actually this, boom. You're refusing to override. I get it. Then just my key, JSON. And then I give you the seed phrase that I totally still remember. There, seed phrase. Don't ever store your seed phrase digitally. That's stupid. Unless you're leaking it on purpose. So there it goes. Boom. And it's still not working. Still not taking this derivation path. Rebuild, rerun, seed phrase. But it takes that. Look, it has that sum, and that's the derivation path. Then maybe this is still the wrong function. Encodable key from seed phrase, which prompts the passphrase, trims the seed phrase. And if we're using legacy, then from seed phrase and passphrase. And otherwise generate seed from seed phrase and passphrase. So I guess the legacy way to do it doesn't really something. So I think this yields us some different results than this. Still using legacy. So how about we just don't use legacy. Don't use legacy. Build it again. Copy seed phrase again. Run the same thing. Enter seed phrase. And there it is. Just took me a bit of hacking on the CLI. I mean, a bit of adding features to the CLI. Because for some reason, the recover just doesn't want to use derivation paths. Now it does in my version. Let's say yes. And boom, we have the my key. And if we look at that, then it's the 161 to 164. You don't see that because I'm too big. But yeah, it's the same key as we exported with Solflare as well. Pretty cool, eh? So basically, I leaked my seed phrase and somebody who knows what they're doing can recover it. Simpler, eh? And basically by what we just did, we already set up for at least 2 of the 3 tips that I'm gonna give you. You could already see them. They are right here. So let's get started. Tip number 1. If you wanna secure your seed phrase, instead of just using the seed phrase, use a seed phrase in combination with a passphrase. Because that will then be taken together and really gives you a seed. As we just saw here, it takes the seed phrase and the passphrase to create your seed, and from the seed, it then derives. So we just need to add a passphrase. Because what happens if I do the exact same thing as before? I recover this key, I enter the seed phrase, but then I enter a passcode as well. It will result in a different pub key, in a different key pair. Thus, the pub key also changes. And that's it. And I could now be like, okay, let's not use the Andy's wallet. Let's not use this address. Let's actually
use this address, because if we use this address, then an attacker would also need to know my passphrase. But if you want to have your custom address, you could of course do a grind and create yourself one, as I did in the very beginning. So you could do something like Solana keygen grind starts with, I'm just gonna use 2 letters so it's quick, or let's do A and D, let's do 3. And we use mnemonic, and we could here set the derivation path, or we don't. But what we can also definitely do here is set a passphrase. You enter it twice, you remember it, and then boom, and B. That would be your wallet. Save this seed phrase such that you can then recover it with Solana keygen recover and entering the same passphrase, and then you will get the same address. So that works. But you need to know the passphrase. If I don't know the passphrase and I do the same thing and I know the seed phrase, I can enter the seed phrase. Shit, what did I just do? Do that again. This here I enter. But I don't know the passphrase, so I leave it empty. Then I get a completely different address. So I can't use this. I cannot get access to your funds if they are an AND B if I just have the key for this, right? So adding a passphrase is tip number 1 to secure your seed phrase. Once it's exported, once it's recovered like this, right? If I say yes, once it's in this file, in this format, the passphrase doesn't save the key pair. The key pair actually has the actual key, the private key. It just protects the seed phrase. So you need the seed phrase in combination with your passphrase that you entered here twice in order to get your key. So that was tip number 1. Can you guess what my tip number 2 would be then? We've already seen it as well. What else does the actual key depend on here? So if we leak the seed phrase, hopefully we put a passphrase, but if we leaked both of them, what else is there? Oh yes, the derivation path. You could just use a different derivation path, like we already did. So the default actually, and let's have a look at that. The default is not as the docs would say. They say it's this per default. Oh, if the arg is presented with an empty value, then will be used. Okay, if no arg is presented, then derivation path will not be used. Okay, so per default none is used, and if we use it empty, then this is used. I understand. Okay, we used none. What does that really mean? This one, I think. Let's check. Nope, it's not a valid one. This one. That's the derivation path. If we put in the seed phrase from what we just had from the end B, put in this one, even with the passphrase, why do I need to enter it twice? That's stupid. No, that's different. Well, what means none is used? Just M? No. But we already see there's a lot of choices that we have here for the derivation path. What does none really mean? Let's see. Kind of want to figure this out just because I want to find out what the CLI actually does. Because people keep wondering about that. I keep wondering about that. Because usually wallets use the default derivation path with a 44, 501, and then nothing or 00 or just 0, you know, as we saw before here. Let's put in those 12 words here and see if we can access the AND B somehow. Because it's not here, we saw that. It's not that one, it's not that one, and it's not that one. When the CLI creates a key pair with no derivation path, the wallets will not find it. That's why seed phrases from the CLI, you can't really import them. Which is on the one hand a bad thing, and on the other hand a good thing. Because even if that's leaked, they would need to know that it has no derivation path. I still don't know what no derivation path means. Let's analyze that. If it's none, then key pair from seed directly. It gets the seed from mnemonic and passphrase, but then doesn't use a derivation path at all and uses directly key pair from seed. Whereas key pair from seed and derivation path would derive it differently. So first from seed and then. So the derivation path is something on top of your seed. If you don't provide a derivation path, it creates the seed like this. It's actually done a bit differently. But we don't even need to go into the details. Here we get an extended secret key. Then we derive with a specific path. And because we do that, because we derive, we can create basically unlimited keys from one single seed phrase. That's how you also create a key for Bitcoin, a key for Ethereum, keys for Solana. And usually you go that route, the M44501. But you don't have to. You can have any random path that you want. And that's why this is an additional layer of security. I mean, obviously, if I use a path like M4450102, it's still not more secure. Let's see if you find me another AND. With derivation path, it takes longer to grind though, because it's more calculation that you need to do every time. But there we go. We have an end number S. This is still relatively easy to find out. Why? Well, because if I go here and I enter this, I can still pretty much find, if I had money on there, I would immediately find it here. No. Wait, what's my... Oh, did I say 02? Oh, that was stupid. Well, maybe it was smart, because that's not actually how they derive it. Yeah, true. They wouldn't find it. It would already be somewhat hidden. I mean, it's just a bit hidden though, because somebody could figure out that you did that. They might guess by accident. What I wanted to show was something like this though, 2/0. Because that's the actual way how the wallets derive it as well. They go 44,501,00, 44,501,10, and so on. So and X with that seed phrase, if I enter that seed phrase, then you could quite easily find it in here. There it is as 012. Oh, I'm in the way. So that's 44,501,00, 44,501,10, 44,501,20, and so on. And if I have money on that, then Solflare checks for that, so that's why it would find that immediately. And the same thing with just the 0. So here are all the 501.0, 501.1, 501.2, 501.3, and so on. So just that just kind of hides it a little bit, but doesn't make it much safer, because people expect that you have several wallets on one seed phrase. But if you really want to protect it, you use a crazy derivation path. And you can do that either by making it much longer, so something like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what the max length is here. Wow, that was fast. And 3 with that crazy derivation path. Even if I give you the seed phrase, load that canal bacon sausage with silver dust results in the next adjusted shoe business, roughly. Even if I give you that, if you wouldn't know that, you basically have no chance in getting to that address. I mean, we can try with that seed phrase, and even if I know that there's no passphrase, we can try recover. That's the seed phrase. Nah, that wasn't it. Maybe let's not do a derivation path. Nope, that's not it. Maybe let's do the classic 44,501,00. No, that's also not it. Well, 1, 2, 3. That's still not it. They would need to guess all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's what we used, right? Have my seed phrase and my passphrase. Only then would they get to my entry. And you can see we can extend that path like a password with several letters. We can, you know, have several numbers here. Do we need numbers? I don't know how derivation paths work. What is that actually? Can we do something like ABC? No, it's a digit. Okay, so that's indices for children. Obviously, the higher those numbers are, the longer it will take for you to actually create that seed. But if you know it, it doesn't matter. So for one, we can extend it into the length. For another thing, we could just go super high. I think the limit of that is a U32 or something. So what's the max index? I don't know, but it's pretty high. Let's just use a very high number. Oh, that's too large. That still fits. It managed, and 5. But yeah, to get there, to get the private key of that, we now need to know the seed phrase plus the path and the passphrase if we would have set one. So only if we know the right number here. Was it that? Was it that? I don't know. With that seed phrase, nope, that wasn't it. Not enough 9s. Maybe one more. Yeah, that was it. But you know, if I don't know that number, then I also can find it out. And I mean, you would now argue, well, of course I can just brute force that. I mean, yes, you could if I would just use this path. If you would know that I just use this number. Yeah, you can go through all. How big is that? What's the maximum here? I had this path and now that's the max of a U32. That would make sense. So I could probably use this path or maybe one less. Let's use this path. Nope, too large. So that one is too large, but one fewer. Also too large. Oh, maybe it's a wait. Is that a signed thing? Can I have a -1? No, I can't. Hold on. Maybe 31. Maybe this. I want to find the bounds. So this, too large, and one less. This works. Ha! So that is the maximum value that we can have. 2 billion. 2 to the power of 31. That's already quite some space. And guess what? We can have several of these. We can go 2 to the power of 31 times 2 to the power of 31. Suddenly we have 2 to the power of 62. And guess what? We don't need to end here. We could go another 2 times that, which would get us to 2 to the power of 124. That would work. And at that point, your brute forcing strategy will really fail, my friend. Really freaking fail. Because you might as well guess a public key's private key. Wait, the private key has 32 bytes though. With 4 here, we're not at the same. You can think of that as basically almost a U32. So we could say 4 bytes. 4 bytes each. It's 1 bit less, but still. 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes, 4 bytes. We would need to do something like 5, 6, 7, 8 to get to the same space an actual private key on Solana has, which is 32 bytes. We would need to do this, 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 this. And at that point, obviously at every point we need to have a proper random number. And at that path, we have the same space for an entire, private key purely in the derivation path itself. So it's not easily guessable. You cannot brute force it. You literally, this is no way. Watch my video on why you can't guess a private key if you still think that you could, just try out paths here. And then best add a passphrase as well. Boom. No freaking chance that anybody would ever manage to get to this private key just because I leaked the seed phrase. I would need to leak the passphrase and that derivation path as well. Oh. And that's how you basically hide your private key or your assets. But is it a hiding? That's a philosophical question because, yeah, I mean, we kind of hide it behind the derivation path. But really, on a technical level, that is the same as if we add a passphrase. We basically add additional security by you needing to know the path, same way as you need to know the passphrase in order to get to your private key. And now tell Solflare they should import that key. That's not gonna work. The only way that's gonna work is by you first entering the correct derivation path, the correct seed phrase, the correct passphrase, and then recovering this to my key. And this key you could then import here, and boom, it is actually here. Because really you just need the private key in order to work with it. Once you're there and once you leak this, once you leak the private key, all of the previous meshes are also useless. You can have the weirdest derivation path. You can have the longest passphrase. You can keep your seed phrase super secure. But if you still leak the private key, you're lost, man. That is the one thing that you need to protect. So just don't leak that. The passphrase doesn't protect that. The derivation path doesn't protect that. The seed phrase doesn't protect that. All of those things just allow you to recover that, because that algorithm basically takes those three things and calculates to get you that private key. And then it derives the public key from it. And then you have your key pair. That's how this works. By the way, for now, we've always been using that prefix because that's what Solana uses. Like Solana wallets always use that. But there's no reason why you would need to do that. Check this. I could do the same thing as before and go with any crazy path here. I could go 133742/00. Or, you know, many more as we saw before. But I could do this. And that will also give me a NG wallet that I can use on Solana. Legend. Nobody will stop me from using this key pair. There, this key pair. Nobody will stop me from using that on Solana. There. I can totally do that. Why would I not? This is perfectly fine. A perfectly fine key pair for Solana, even though I derived it with a weird path. So it's just another way how you can, you know, hide your assets. And is it a hiding? Well, the same way we're hiding it behind the passphrase. You need to know the passphrase. You need to know the derivation path. And I find that such a cool trick because, I mean, it's all just information that you need to know. And that way you can store that information, you know, separately. You can, you know, store your seed phrase on that piece of paper, put it next to your bed, sleep on it. And then the passphrase, that's something that you only remember. Your mother's birthday or whatever. Something that you remember and you know that you remember it. Or you also write it down and put it somewhere else. Or you tell your friend. Or I don't know what it is that how you keep them safe. And then the derivation path, I don't know, you make it your phone number or something that you remember that you can then put in again. Make an association and then just put your phone number as the derivation path or some, whatever you might come up with, right? I don't want to tell you how to do it because if I now say use your phone number, then obviously you don't want to use your phone number because then I know that you used your phone number. And the phone number is not too difficult to figure out, but you know, whatever. My point is store them differently, store them at different locations, on different media, one on a steel plate, one on whatever, and that way your assets are more secure. However, they are less safe because the more things you add, the more likely you are also to lose access. And that's the scale that we're working on here. The more difficult you make it, like with a longer derivation path, with a passcode, it's getting harder for yourself as well to still get your key pair. So, you know, always a trade-off. And I'm just telling you things that you could do. You need to make your own decisions how you're actually gonna do it. Right. So those were my first 2 tricks. I promised you 3. And number 3 is actually the concept of account abstraction. So far, we've been hiding the key pair. Even if you know the seed phrase, you must also know derivation path and passcode. They add something to the security. Another way how to add something, even if an attacker gets to your private key, even if they have your seed phrase, your passcode, and the correct derivation path, you can still basically hide assets on chain or protect them on chain by using account abstractions. And this can come in many forms. One simple one that we've discussed in a previous video was the system program create account with seed, where basically we once again had a seed, and then you need to also know that seed in order to access the funds. So again, it's just another layer. And the concept of account abstraction goes all the way to, you know, multi-sig wallets. Basically, it's always the funds are now on a different account than the account you control. So with the system program trick, it's on the created account, and only the person having the base key plus the seed can actually move the funds. Multi-sig wallets also work on the concept of account abstraction, where basically the funds are in an account and there's a program controlling that account, and only when the program says, yes, we can transfer it out by several transactions being executed that contain certain signatures. For instance, my wallet needs to sign and another wallet needs to sign. That's how they keep the assets more safe, by requiring multiple signatures, thus multi-sig. Also just a form of account abstraction. What you can also do is deploy your own program that basically stores your assets in a PDA somewhere or in several accounts. And then you can either make it that way that you need to sign with, several wallets like a multi-sig, or even the fact alone that the attacker would need to know that the funds are in that program, and they would need to know how to call that program for the program to give you the funds. On a very simple level, one way to protect the funds is by a passcode. You would put the passcode in the program, but obviously not as plain text, but the hash you store in the program, and you expect the actual password to be provided as instruction data, and then you hash the instruction data and compare it to what the program has stored. And if that hash matches, of course you want to use a cryptographically secure hash function. But yeah, that's another way how you can protect your assets. We could write that program, it wouldn't be difficult, but that's out of the scope of this video. I'm just telling you, there are many ways how you can protect your assets using account abstraction. And even if you don't have a password, the sheer fact that the assets are not in the wallet itself, but stored on a different account, the hacker would need to find out that they're stored at this account, and they would need to find out how to get it. Even that adds a layer of security. Even if the hacker could get the accounts, if they know how to do it. And all of what we're doing is if they know how to do it. If they know their seed phrase, if they know their derivation path, if they know their passcode, right? It's always the same. It's always a knowledge thing. If you know where the funds are, it's easier to get them. And I did that at one of the tasks for the Greed Academy. You might remember I made a video for Greed Academy, you can watch it here, where I discuss basics of wallet security, which is the base for all of this as well. If you don't get those things right, you don't even need to bother with what I'm telling you here. And basically what I did there is I put one sol on a wallet where I leaked the seed phrase. And I didn't protect that seed phrase with a derivation path or a passcode. People could derive it. Should we go over this? Greed.academy lessons. There, the one by Solandy. That lesson. I made a video that you can totally watch. There we go. I've actually never done this myself, this is fun. Which one of the following statements is true? A hardware wallet increases the chances of getting hacked. A hardware wallet is more secure than a... Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. How many private keys can be derived from a single seed phrase? Oh, that is also a good question. And we answered today that it's definitely more than 100. And this was the question I was talking about. Andy has leaked the private key of his wallet, this one. What's the address that holds one sol? And basically, all you gotta do is go to Solana or some wallet and enter that seed phrase, and you will see, oh, there are two active wallets. This first one and this one. But that's the one I was talking about. The Greed Experiment wallet. It has one sol. It has an actual sol on there. And I leaked my seed phrase. But why did nobody take that sol? Why did nobody have the genius idea of sending one sol to some other wallet? Why? Well, because it doesn't work. That's why. What did I do? Well, I bricked my wallet, which is another form of account abstraction. Because if we look at this in Explorer, then we can see that the Greed Experiment wallet is actually a wrapped sol account, a token account, and the owner of the token account is Greed Safe, another one of my wallets. So that's the one that I abstracted. That's my actual wallet, and this is where I hold my funds now. What I mean by that is, even if you know that this is my public key, you don't necessarily already know that this is where I store my funds. Because if you just have this, and I don't know where I have that, let me find that wallet somewhere. I have this wallet, but even though, okay, no, you see it. I take it back. In this way, you actually do see it. Because my Greed Safe wallet shows me that I have a wrapped sol token account that I could just unwrap and have one sol again. So this doesn't really help me much in this case. But if I wouldn't have done it with a token program and wrapped sol, in fact, if I would have chosen any other token than wrapped sol, because only wrapped sol actually displays the sol value. If I would have made it a USDC account, then it would have held 0 USDC. And then it wouldn't have been so obvious. But yeah, there are many ways how to, you know, have other accounts hold your funds. One of them is to make a random wallet a token account, which is not what I suggest here, but it's just one example. Yeah, I can go and unwrap this. Oh no, what's going wrong here? Oh, because I have no funds on this cluster, that's why. I see. I have no actual sol, that's why it's not working. Damn it. There we go. There we still have some funds on there. I might as well use that. Transfer this. Minus exactly what it takes. 31 minus 5 is 26 to this wallet. Let's go. Sweet. Caroline. And now we actually have 101 because we have actual sol here. And now that thing with the unwrap, this will now actually work. There we go. Gone is the token account and we have the actual 1 sol in my wallet again. Coolio. And that 1 sol will now go to a wallet where I will gladly leak the seed phrase. However, I'm gonna protect it in different ways. Check this. I'm gonna use the keygen recover to actually create my key pair, because that's literally what it does. My secret key. I will use 42, 69, 1337. Very random, very random. So having a weird derivation path, one strategy, that would be good if I wasn't freaking leaking it. But what can you do? I just leaked it. And also, I'm gonna use the seed phrase from the very beginning. This one, why not? Enter it here. Boom. And then a passphrase, of course. You hear it, right? This is how my passphrase sounds. It's not a lot of keystrokes. You could probably also guess that if you're like listening closely. It's all letters on my keyboard layout. It was less than 7 characters. And that's the resulting pub key. Yeah, I'll take it. So that's the resulting pub key. I'm gonna add another layer of security to this. A little account abstraction. What was it called? It was from KV, that seed something. You made a video about that. There, 7-letter vanity addresses. Vanity, git vanity. Yeah, that's it. How did that work? Base owner target. Simple as that. Base, that's going to be my guy. He will need to sign in order for me to get out my funds. Owner is the system program, the same program that owns this account, system program. And then my target. And now I'm basically creating a vanity address. Safe spot. I mean, if I start with S, something like that. Let's see if I get something. This is taking too long. I'm gonna just use NDSA. Damn it, I'm impatient. I'm just gonna use NDS. There we go. Nah, I don't like it. But see, just to demonstrate, this would now be my next secret, right? You would need to know that it's from this account, this owner, that's how it's derived, that's the seed. And then plus, you would need to know the trick how to work with create account with seeds. And not a lot of people know that. And I don't think a lot of attackers know that. I mean, I made videos and I teach attackers, but yeah. This is the thing that I would now need to hold secure, not show you, if I wanted to send funds to that address. But I don't. I'm gonna find a nicer one, an even nicer one. I like this. Oh, I like this one. Andy Safe Haven. This is gonna be my safe haven address. And you saw all the steps that I did. And I have such confidence that I can get the funds back from there and that you can still not get them, that I'm just gonna send all of my money to that address without the semicolon. There. I'm just gonna send it. Just 1 sol anyway. There we go. Nothing to hide. Here you go. I send all my money to Andy's 8 heaven address. And basically, you have all the info almost that you need. To get the key for that comes in 2 steps. Number 1, you'll need to find that key that I have stored in here, but you know the derivation path, you know the seed phrase. I'm even gonna be nice and copy that into the description such that you don't need to, you know, copy words, because that's the boring part. It would stop me from trying to steal the funds if I would need to manually type words. I mean, what's that? So there you go, you get that. You shall get that. The passcode? I'm gonna put this. You don't know. I don't know. I might have forgotten by now, but it doesn't matter because my secret is stored in here and I'm definitely not gonna delete that file. Oops. Oh no, it's gone. I can't derive it anymore. Sure I can. I totally still know my passphrase. That was it. Wait, hold on. No, I should have entered the seed phrase. Sorry. And that was it. That was it. Yeah, I still know it. Yes, there you go. Easy. So you could guess the passphrase. It's not long. It's 4 letters. What could it possibly be? If you want to guess that, I mean, be my guest. And then obviously, once you have that, you can still not really do anything with that because the funds are on a different address. They're here and they were derived with a whole different trick. One way of account abstraction in a way. I would say it is account abstraction, yeah. Because there's another account that holds my funds now and I need to provide a seed in order to get those funds. So there you go. Be my guessing guest and guess that. Do you want the first bite? You can have the first bite. Look, the first bite, or the first 2 bites even. The first 2 bites of the seed are 51.48. I'm not gonna show you more. I'm not gonna tell you how long it is, because that's where my security comes from. If I tell you everything, then you could just get my 1 sol. But I'm still super confident that you can't get that 1 sol, so I'm gonna leave that in there. But be my guest to try and get it out. Try social engineering me. Maybe I leaked it somewhere in the video, who knows? I mean, 1 sol is not a big bounty, but for some that's quite some money. So, I mean, still, this is how much I trust that my money is safe there, because I did all the 3 things and I leaked 2 of those. So that leaves us with this. You can't get that, motherfuckers! It's safe, totally safe. I still know my passphrase. I have my seed phrase safely written down in a YouTube video. Also the derivation path, I will not forget that because it's in my YouTube video. So yeah, the only thing I can forget is the seed for this account. I should probably write that down somewhere, otherwise this 1 sol is lost forever. Enjoy trying to get that out. And with that bounty in the background and my amazing outfit, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for learning about wallet security with me. My favorite freaking topic. This is so important that we, know what's possible and know what you need to keep safe. I want you to have a better understanding of how all of those things work. That's why I'm making those videos and dressing weirdly, such that you listen to me or get distracted by my naked shoulder. I mean, you can't judge me, but the people that are driven away by that will never get that 1 sol. Everybody else will also not get it because it's freaking safe. Ha! Suckers. And if you believe that I can't get it out, I can. And I will demonstrate in a year or so, when we make the next video about wallet security. So make sure you are subscribed, like this video and watch some others. This one, the basics of the Greed Academy, do it, watch it if you haven't seen it yet. And otherwise, yeah, stick around, learn some more about wallet security and keep your assets safe. And of course, those are just 3 strategies. There are way more. And that's just additionally to your seed phrase. Then you might want to combine that with hardware wallets, with multi-sigs. And you do want to keep your seed phrase secure. You don't want to rely on just the other things. Don't just leak your seed phrase, that's stupid. But yeah, I hope that with those building blocks, you can find a strategy that works for you. If you excuse me, I gotta put some stuff into my password manager, and I'll see you next time.